Something was happening with the opponents. First, I noticed how players were obviously resetting, and thus numerous new bases were added to the map. Conquering these is not difficult, as you know. You just have to be faster than all other alliances and then be able to fend off their disruptive attacks. In fact, there were hardly any other attempts to capture these new bases and no disruptive attacks either. My opponents let me have my way. So I got several new bases in a short time. At the same time, more and more bases of my opponents ran out of flags. I could move troops completely unprotected across the map without being attacked. After the fierce battles of the last 2 weeks, this was extremely surprising. Top Guns had obviously stopped fighting back.
Das war wirklich viel zu einfach. Basis erobert.
Even expensive bases with cranes fell without any resistance. This was bad for me, of course, because I wanted epic battles for my videos. Instead, I could only record boring routines. But who knows how long such a condition would last. So I stepped on the gas and took what I could get. New bases were popping up every now and then too. Top Guns seemed to be in the process of disintegrating. They had long since ceased to be number one in the rankings. It was obvious that something was happening. Then players from Top Guns came to 3 Army. Suddenly the map looked completely different. Half of the map was ours. Even a base attack now was completely different. Bases without flags were taken in record time with an enormous number of groups. Besides, a few of the players joined us. Top Guns obviously broke up into the 2 alliances, Matrix and Seals. Of course, I expected that these players, although now divided in 2 alliances, would fight again properly. After all, you change an alliance in order to make something happen with it.
Das war wirklich viel zu einfach.
Sometimes I just sniped enemy troops. That takes forever, but on the part of the opponents there was no reaction. If these 2 new alliances were going to do anything, it obviously wasn't going to be on this map. Matrix let us take one base after another without resistance. It became really boring. With all the bases taken, more players from 3 Army came onto the map and we all got stronger here.
Es war eine lächerliche Verteidigung. Wollten die wohl verlieren?
Players who were still in Top Guns and had not switched to Matrix or Seals had to be permanently offline. They had not yet realized what their own alliance was doing. With no flags and offline, these were easy targets that brought us quick successes. I reduced my bombers and helicopters and used artillery more and more. I no longer had to fear that my opponents would send swarms of IL-2s to destroy all my artillery. If a player switched from Matrix to Seals, it didn't mean that he would be active again on map 14 because of that. Quite obviously, Matrix and Seals had already given up on map 14 internally. It is what I observe quite often. Alliances that take in the losers of a map in order to grow quickly with them, thus have players in their own ranks who are also quickly gone again if further success fails to materialize. Top Guns was grown exactly by such players. Probably Top Guns broke up exactly because of this. At some point, players lose hope that they can still win a map. Then they only see the costs for the daily flags and give up inwardly with sayings like, "This map is getting too expensive for me." Even the fact that SPI forgot flags was more a coincidence. SPI had been at Primus at the very beginning and had attacked one of my first bases without success. Since then, he was inactive, at least on this map. He only set his flags regularly. Since he wasn't a threat, he wasn't really important. But of course, we wanted to have the whole map complete at some point. That's why we didn't miss such an opportunity. Better to strike now than to have to capture it with flags later. Then inactive players of our opponents were either kicked or they simply became allianceless due to eternal inactivity. Their bases were also quickly captured. So slowly the bases without flags thinned out. We would soon have to take the bases of those players who actually still set flags. Would we be able to do that? Or would fully developed level 12 bases with flags be too fierce for us? That's what the next installment of this series will show.